We are now moving to the final part of this presentation, which will be about knowledge management. Projects themselves are of such nature that they offer great opportunities to gain new knowledge. This is because they usually are set up to solve problems that haven't been solved before. Also, the diversity of members in virtual teams can offer unique opportunities to gain knowledge from the diverse cultural background of the different members. If we want to conserve and reuse knowledge, it is very important to find an appropriate way to formalize and summarize knowledge that we gain during a project. This can typically be done using wikis or knowledge objects. Knowledge objects are just a specific method of knowledge formalization. A usual barrier of knowledge management is that team members are usually not willing to spend extra time at the end of a project analyzing and summarizing what they've learned while working on the project. And also the management usually want to use the human resources on other projects, and they often overlook the importance of the stage of knowledge summarization. Information and knowledge can flow in different directions in project-based environments. There are 4 basic types of flows. Obviously, knowledge can flow between the members of one project team. Knowledge should also flow between the actual project team and its external environment. Organizations are also trying to transfer knowledge between a project and the organization itself. And finally, they are also trying to transfer knowledge directly between different projects. These last 2 flows are more difficult to manage. There are multiple approaches to knowledge management. One of the good methods to transfer knowledge is to include an experienced member in a project team. This will allow us to directly use the knowledge of the member without the need to formalize it and cut it out from its original context. Including a lessons learned chapter in project documentation is also not an unusual method of knowledge management. Here, the members of a team summarize and analyze their experiences from the project and suggest how these can be used to increase successfulness of following projects. The outcome of the lessons learned chapters can then be used to make appropriate changes in the project management methodology that the particular company is using to manage projects. This incorporates the knowledge gained in one project directly in the management process of the following projects. Many organizations maintain knowledge bases built on wiki pages or knowledge objects. In order for these knowledge bases to be usable, the knowledge they contain has to be properly formalized so that new users can easily understand the content, and the whole knowledge base must be easily searchable so that people looking for solutions to particular problems can quickly and accurately find what they are looking for. Besides the basic concepts that I have tried to address so far, there are many other questions that need to be answered before we can build a well-functioning and productive virtual team. We must figure out how to manage conflict in virtual teams, as negotiation processes might be slightly different than in usual face-to-face settings. Also, the question how to build and maintain relationships needs to be answered. And again, the fact that we don't have the luxury of face-to-face contact might make this a little more complicated. The skills that the members of virtual teams need to have will probably be slightly different, at least in the technology area, than what we require from members of traditional project teams. Finally, we must find ways to motivate and reward people in virtual teams, and also how to measure and improve effectiveness of virtual teams. Okay, so now I will try to summarize the whole presentation. In the beginning, I mentioned that virtual teamwork is very likely not only the presence, but also the future of teamwork in general. I defined virtual teams, and I discussed the issues of trust and leadership in the context of virtual teams. I also tried to address some of the issues related to specific tools that we can use to support virtual teamwork. The final part provided a basic overview of some knowledge management issues. We shouldn't forget that there are many other questions related to virtual teamwork beyond the scope of this presentation that we shouldn't ignore. So, this is the end. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and here at the very end are the references that I used when I was preparing it.